start the recording now. So just welcome everybody again to this month's webinar. So what we're talking about today is reaching out to support, how to go about contacting support should you need the assistance, and what various support items we have in the various forms in which you can reach out to support. Okay. So obviously for first things first, my own name is Niall Fahy for anybody who hasn't joined before. I look after the training and development here within Mozy, so both for our internal teams and also for externals. So I do some external trainings as well for some of our larger customers. For those of you who haven't attended the webinar previously, so what we will normally do, just to give you a breakdown of the webinar, what we'll normally do is I will just briefly go through a presentation PowerPoint like this for about 5-10 minutes. We'll discuss some topics and then we'll go ahead and look at those topics in action. Okay. If you do have, sorry, apologies. So if there is a secondary screen up in your way from the camera or anything like that, you should be able to minimize that. Okay. Okay. So as I was saying, we will do a few minutes of that where we will open up the topics we've discussed and walk through them and show you how they work. And then what we'll do is we'll leave the last half an hour, 30 minutes open to actual any questions that you may have. Okay. Okay, if everybody's okay, we will step into the first part of the session. Just give you an overview of what we're going to be talking about today. So what we're talking about is primarily we're looking at three different areas. So self-support options, how you can access support and do the support yourself. Interactive support options where you've reached out to support and you're actually interacting with them, and then social media options, okay, which is important for a lot of people, so that gives them the ability to actually reach out to us in real time when they're on the go. So self-support options range right from the actual software that's installed on your machine through to our blogs that are on our website and also our support.mozy.com website. Okay, first things first, the client software will actually give you some information. If you are running into any issues, you can check the software, opening up the history tab and identifying the errors that are happening on the machine. Clicking on those errors in that history tab will open up the website and will give you some self-help instructions that if you have the time yourself and you don't have the time to reach out to support just right then and there, it will give you some steps to actually try and attempt to resolve the issue. Our knowledge base is another area where you can go from a self-help perspective. It does contain a lot more information, a lot more, I suppose, distinct information from the generic error code messages that you may see that may be linked in the software. The knowledge base will give you, it's a very active knowledge base in the sense that all of our support agents would actually actively update that. So that is being constantly updated on an ongoing basis. New information is being put in there and articles are being edited and updated. So it's not something that we just put up there and it sits there indefinitely. It is something that we're actively working on an ongoing basis to improve and to ensure that all the data and information is up to speed. Our community is another area you can go to from a self-help perspective. Our community allows you to to open up debates and discussions with other users, but it's also something that we monitor ourselves from support point of view. We do monitor to ensure that if there's any pressing issues that users may have, that it can be addressed pretty quickly. But it's also a great place to just get involved in that discussion boards if that's an area you like. It may not be something that you personally prefer to do and when you're looking for support, but I know some users do enjoy the aspect of being able to go into a community environment or a kind of an environment like that where they can actually have the discussion themselves and try and work out issues. Not saying it's for everybody, but it's something, it's there, it's a feature that's there for you. If it is something that you do like to do, then there's a community aspect there where you can have those discussions with other users. Our blog is also an area that's worthwhile taking note of, the Mozy blog. It is something that we update on an ongoing basis with various articles around different topics, not just necessarily about how to use the software, but also covering various topics and around how to use the software, not just about how to use the software, but around pressing, I suppose, issues around security and security of your machine, security of your computer, and the various threats and ongoing ransomware issues that are out there. It just gives you some very useful blog articles and information for yourselves, just to keep up to date on what's going on in the world of software, and specifically in relation to disaster recovery and Mozy. In terms of our interactive options, so our interactive options vary widely. So we have phone, chat, and then you have your email cases. So the phone support is obviously something it's primarily only available to pro users and above. It's not available to Mozy Home customers. But for those of you who do have phone support, you can log into your support account at support.mozy.com, and in there you will get your support ID. It's vital that you have that support ID when you try to contact into support, because you will be prompted from the phone system. Once you've entered that in, you can phone into support and you can have a discussion there around your issue. Live chat is a form of support that's available to everybody. Live chat allows you to, as it says, have a live chat with a support agent, so to try and resolve your issue in real time. If you do have the time, no matter what the scenario is, if you have the time to spare, I would always recommend a phone call or a live chat, because it does allow you to get the issue resolved as quickly as possible if you have the time to spare. If you don't have the time to spare, then opening an email case at least gets the ball rolling. You can notify our support teams that there's an issue there. You can give them the relevant information they need, and then if needs be, they can set up some time with you, and you can schedule it out in your calendar so that they can maybe either chat with you over the phone, or they can do a remote session with you to get access to your computer to try and resolve the issue for you. So there are some of our interactive options. Of them all, as I say, the phone and the chat are the most instantaneous. And if you cannot do either or, then what I would attempt to do is open an email case, and when you have the time to, and if it's needed to look for a remote session, or that the support team can give you a call back and have a discussion with you around the issue. In terms of social media options, we have a social media presence on both Twitter and Facebook. So our Twitter handles are at Mozi Support and at Mozy, and the Facebook page is just facebook.com/Mozy Backup. In terms of getting assistance with any issues, they're obviously more of a notification point, so that if you are on the go and you don't have the chance to log into support.mozy.com and raise a ticket, or maybe you don't have the time right then and there to make the phone call, you can reach out to at Mozi Support and notify us that you may be having an issue. If you're on the go, you can pull out your phone really quick, write a tweet, and we can get in contact with you from there and begin the process of opening a case for you. While you may not be ready right then and there, at least this allows us to get the process going, so that you're not having to wait the couple of hours where you may be free to log into Mozi Support. This will allow you a fast and convenient way to reach out to us. The @Mozy address and the Facebook page are generally for notification and information purposes. But if you are on Facebook, similar to Twitter, and you do have an issue, you can reach out there also. They are monitored. But we primarily use the Facebook page and the @Mozy page for informing users, whereas users who are looking for support features we would direct them towards Twitter at Mozi Support or direct messages within Facebook. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to show you some of these pages within are the actual websites that we're talking about here. So I'm just 2 seconds going to pull these over from my other screen. Okay, so first things first, we're going to look at the community. Okay, so what we're going to look at here first is the community here. And as I mentioned, the community looks at the aspect of getting involved in discussion, kind of like a forum or something along those lines, whereby you can come into certain topics and you can have a discussion. Or you can alternatively start your own discussion if it doesn't fit into something. If you don't see the topic there already, then you can also come in there and actually start that discussion yourself and open it up. Okay, so what you see here is a list in terms of the forums here is you see a list of areas that you can have discussions in. Okay, so you have Mozy for Windows, Mac, Linux, Sync, stuff about your account if needs be. You have information around your, if you want to look at things around the admin console and so forth, you have all those bits of information there as well. And so you see here you have general topics and so forth. You also have tutorials. Okay, so these are some video tutorials around items that you may want to interact with or attempt to do. That will take you to the tutorials page. You then have also below that, you have things like the idea exchange where you can submit some ideas that you may have around the product. If you think there's some aspects or things that you do that you would like to see, or that maybe that you think the product doesn't have, then you can come in here and exchange some ideas. And then our blogs are here, as I said. So this is our blog. Just leave that load up there. And then you have some of our top threads. Okay. Apologies, for some reason my pages are not loading. Typical of live scenarios. If something can go wrong, it will go wrong. So yeah, so our blogs, as I say, they give some general articles around topics that are important or relevant to us here in Mozy, and maybe of interest and relevance to you as well. Okay. The support site then, so if I go into the knowledge base aspects of things, I have alerts there. The knowledge base here, it will give me some information around whatever I want to search for. But I also have broken into sections here as well if I want to click on any of these. So if I wanted to look at some specific restore articles, I can open that up and I will get some specific restore articles. Okay, so it'll give me stuff like how to restore files, some frequently asked questions, and stuff like that. So this is more the kind of self-help stuff that if you don't have the time to maybe open a live chat or a phone call and you want to quickly have a look at something or to refresh your memory about how to do something, the knowledge-based articles are there for that. Okay, so that is there for you in terms of the knowledge-based articles. In terms then of the actual support page itself, so this is when you go to support.mozy.com, this is where you'll land. Okay, so you'll land here at support.mozy.com. Apologies if anybody can see me on screen, I'm just looking at another monitor just here to my left. So our support.mozy.com, it's tabular. It's a tabular based environment, so whereby you have certain tabs here, similar to what we saw in the knowledge base there a while ago on the left hand side. We're looking at here different various options, and these will open up into different areas that will allow us to look at specific knowledge-based articles and information around those sections. From below here, we have the ability to contact support via Mozi Support. You can also click here on Mozi Support to log in. So if you click on Mozi Support, it will log you into the support window, and this is where you're going to go if you need to open an email case, if you need to open a live chat, or if you need your support ID to actually dial in and contact support. Okay. So as you see here, some information here will pop up in terms of alerts and stuff like that. But what we want to look at primarily is in terms of opening a case and opening a live chat and how we actually phone into support. Okay, so that will just load there. As you can see here, I see my support ID. I can input that when I contact support, and if and when I'm requested for that number, I will be able to give that. Okay. Oops. Appear to have too many tabs open. I'm just going to click wait. While that's waiting to load, I'm just going to come back here. I'm just going to actually what I'll do is, while that's just loading there, I'm just going to step in to show you the Twitter pages while I have them opened. So what we're looking at here is the Mozi Support Twitter page, okay? And as you see here, this is predominantly information around Mozi, around various blog articles and stuff like that it's linking to. So you're seeing here Mozi Online Backup information there that would take you directly to the Knowledgebase or the blog article. So this one is in terms of losing your data and stuff like that. So these are kind of more information, tweets and stuff like that you're seeing on this account. But you can still tweet this account if needs be. But if you are looking for assistance or you have any questions about Mozi, then oftentimes the Mozi Support one is probably your best bet. Okay, so you'll see here, it is monitored between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. For weekdays, and that's Mountain Standard Time. Okay, and it does link then as well to the support.mozy.com page. But from here, you can get information. Okay, so this account as well will tweet out information around the webinars and various other information alerts and so forth. But it's also an area whereby you can actually tweet yourself if you have a question. As I mentioned, if you are on the go and you need some information, then it is a great place to go really quick to send a tweet to which you can get a reply. And if needs be, we can actually go ahead and start the process of opening a case for you, so that when you get to where you're going, that we can actually have that case ready for you. Okay, so this is still not loading. Do apologize for this, but as you know, as I say, live scenario, something that can go wrong will go wrong. So it is useful, and the Facebook page as well is there. That will give you information. But as I say, Twitter is probably the fastest way that if you want to connect through social media. It's always the one that I would use myself personally for various other products, from everything from my internet provider right up to my electricity, anything like that. If I need assistance and I can't actually reach out to them straight away, I will often start the interaction by using Twitter, and you can do that here as well with Mozi. If you don't have the time, send us a quick tweet and we can start the process in the background. We can start looking at seeing what's wrong with your account, and then seeing how we can address it for you, be it opening a case or whatnot. Okay, so this doesn't appear to be loading for me, but what I'll do is I'll just talk through it anyway. If you are logged in yourself, you will notice your own support ID here. Okay, and below it here where you see this Ask the Community section here, you'll also see in this pane here the option to open a live chat or open an email case. You will also, if you are a Mozi Pro customer or above, see the ability there to actually call support, and it will give you a listing of the support numbers there. Once you click on that button, it will list down below you. Okay, so just that one off, and we will attempt to open that again. Hopefully this time it will load. And you will, as I said, so just beneath that, what you will see is the ability to identify the phone support numbers. You will have the ability to open a live chat, and you will have the ability to open an email case. So if you do need to interact with support, those are some of the key areas. In terms of the software, as I mentioned a while ago, so from the software here, you can also see information about the backup. So this is the history tab on the Mac client, but you have a history tab as well on the Windows client. So if you click on history here, Okay, what you see here is information around backups. And what you're looking for here is on the Mac client is if you see here, if I click on this one here, result of the backup was that it was paused by user. Sometimes it may give you an error message. Sometimes it may give you a bit more detail. And then all you do is you just click more information. Okay, that will open up the relevant knowledge base article on the support website and give you the information and steps to follow. If you're on the Windows client, it will appear. So what you will have is you'll have the backup information here that you see on the left hand side that will appear at the top, and the information that you're seeing here on the right hand side will appear in the bottom. Okay, and the results section will appear on the top, and it will most often than not, if you've hit an error message, it will show you the error message and it will be highlighted blue, and that's just a hyperlink, and it will open up a knowledge base article for you. Okay, so this just appears to have loaded here somewhat. So I have these three options here to create a case, chat or phone. If I click on phone, it will show me the phone numbers that I need to use, and then I have my support ID here to actually create the phone call. If I choose live chat, I can start the chat here, or I can create a case by just clicking on create a new case. So there's just some of the aspects I wanted to show you. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave the remaining time open to any questions that you may have around contacting support and so forth, and some of the topics that we've covered here. So we have about 35 minutes left. I will leave that time opened, obviously to a point where there's not enough questions. So I'm just going to go through these questions as they come through. Okay, your account is locked. How do I lock it? So if your account is locked, okay, so it would depend on if your account is locked from the website or if it's locked from the actual software installed on your machine. If it's locked from the website, it may be that you've just input too many failed login attempts, and what can happen there is you will get locked out for a certain period of time and you may have to wait. If it's locked out and you can't remember your password, you just want to click on that forgot password link and it will allow you to reset the password. If you're still having issues, okay, if you're still having issues with your account being locked and you've attempted the forgot password link, what I would recommend is just if you just let me know here, and what I can do is I can have somebody open a case and reach out to you. Okay, so this is a follow-up there to the original question about the account being locked. So your little Mac is locked and your MacBook Pro is not. I have Mozy on both computers. Okay, so if one machine is locked out and the other machine is not and it's performing correctly, is it that the software itself, when you attempt to log into the software from the machine, it's locked, or is it are we talking about the Mozy password here? So when you attempt to on the little Mac machine, when you attempt to log into the software, is it giving you an account error, or what type of an error is it giving it you? Madeline, good question. So Madeline's question, does my Mozy Home qualify for phone support or chat? So your Mozy Home account qualifies you for live chat support. It doesn't qualify you for phone support. But that's not saying that if you contact into chat and we feel it's necessary and it will speed up the process for both yourself and for us, our agents do have the ability to, where necessary, reach out to you by phone if they see that it is a necessity. Okay, so yeah. So Madeline, you are getting a Mozy DBR1, and you're just unsure and a little afraid of uninstalling and installing Mozy again. You have, I do believe I've received an email from you overnight about this. I have asked one of our support supervisors to have a support agent open a case for you. So you should be hearing, I believe, from Jared in the next few hours, I believe. But if not, I will follow up with myself anyway. So he will reach out to you and have a look at that DB error one. Okay, no problem. Okay, Trish. So when you enter your password on your Mozy Home login, the error message comes up. So that's the login from the software, I'm assuming, and that the Mozy Home login error is coming up. Okay. And Trish, can you tell me what error message you're seeing when that error message pops up? What error message is it giving you? Okay. Okay. What I will do, Trish, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, similar to Madeline, I'm going to have somebody reach out to you and maybe set up a remote session if possible to actually see what's happening on that machine, because that sounds a bit unusual to me. And it's very hard, obviously, for me to try and discuss it here when I can't see what's happening. So what I'll do is I will have somebody open a case for you and reach out to you. My pleasure. Are there any other questions in relation to what we've covered so far today? Okay, so just while we wait for some more questions, if there are any, I would just like to thank everybody for taking the time to join us here this morning. So I know for some people it's very early in the morning, for others it's mid-afternoon and early morning. So I do appreciate you taking the time joining. We will be back next month at a similar time, so the last Wednesday of the month. If you do have any suggestions for topics that you would like to see discussed in these monthly webinars, please do let me know. I would be grateful. I'm always welcoming of any ideas or topics that you think that are beneficial for you, the user, because I suppose that's what we want to try and do and achieve here with these webinars, is to try and give you as much information as you can get. And if we can do that, then it's great for me. So if you have any topics you'd like to see covered, please just let me know. If you have any feedback in terms of how we go about delivering the webinars, I'd appreciate that too, and I will take that on board. If there's anything at all, even if we're moving through something too fast, if I'm speaking too fast, anything along those lines would be much appreciated. Yeah, thank you very much, Bill. Yeah, we will be running a webinar around file selection and so forth, in terms of the backup sets, file system tab, and how to ensure that you have everything set up. We'll most likely be doing that either December or January. No problem, Bill. Yeah, I understand entirely. It does until you've had the chance to have somebody talk through the difference between the backup sets and the file system tabs. It can be. I agree with you there. It can be quite confusing. So we will be going through that. And I know it's not something that it's very, sometimes it can be, it's not very intuitive when you're looking for the first time. My pleasure, Stephen. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so the biggest confusion, Bill, yeah, is if you select files on both tabs. So yeah, so when you're talking about the backup sets in the file system tab, for those of you who are on Windows machines, you'll know what we're talking about. So you have, when you open up the settings window, you have file system tab and you have the backup set tab. So if you select something in the backup set tabs, it shows as selected also in the file system tab. It doesn't mean that if, say, for example, the file that you've selected in the backup set tab is 1 GB, and it also shows as marked for backup in the file system tab. It doesn't mean that you're using 2 GB of storage. All it means is that it's just showing you in both that the file is selected. It's not actually using twice the amount of space. So when you select something in the backup set tab, it just shows as well in the file system tab. Similarly, if you select something in the file system tab, if it matches a file that's inside in one of the backup sets, it will show there as selected also. Yeah, no problem. I know we are in the process of, there's actually some maintenance work going on currently, in terms of bringing over our webinars or past webinars from our old system to our new system. And that's going on in the background. It's not affecting what you see on the website. It's actually the database that's connected to that. So right now, I was looking for this actual particular webinar myself, just last week. Um, I will keep looking for it, and I will try and send you that webinar where we talked about this a few months back, to you, Bill, as soon as I can. If we can't find it, what I will do is I will try and run that session next month, if I can't. Okay, no problem, Bill. Glad we could help. So again, if there are no further questions, again, just thank you everybody for taking the time. I really do appreciate it. I know it comes out of your day, and you probably have a lot of other things that you'd rather be doing than listening to me, but I do appreciate it. We do appreciate it here at Mozy, and if there is anything I can do to help, just let me know. So I'll just give it another 2 or 3 minutes there just to see if there's any other questions to come through, and if not, thank you very much and have a good day.